What is going on, guys? Rant, outsold, the man with the million, back again with another video. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Drop by the channel, check out all the content. Really appreciate it. Seems like a lot of people really are digging that Rand and Jez podcast, so we're gonna keep on going it. But this video is gonna be a Rand's rant, and I have a feeling a lot of people aren't going to like this video. But hey, it is what it is. Usually when I do these things, I see a news item and I just give my initial reaction to it. So NPD kind of released their information about the top selling games for February 2017. And it's as you expected, For Honor's number one. But the bigger news, at least to me, was that Nioh placed number 9 on the chart. Now granted, if you actually read it, it says February 2017 top 10 games, physical and full game digital formats for publishers and digital panel across all platforms including PC, ranked on dollar sales. So NPD changed its format a couple months ago where they no longer rank by unit sales, they rank by dollar sales. A lot of people don't know that, but I've been following this for a long time. And as you can see next to Nioh, it has 3 stars. 3 stars means that it's not including digital sales. First-party studios don't include... the first parties, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, don't include their digital information to NPD. But you can see For Honor, Resident Evil, Grand Theft Auto, they do. Their digital sales are included because those publishers are free to give that info to NPD. But Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, for whatever reason, have decided they don't want to give out their digital info for their own games. And Nioh is published by Sony here in the West, so it's their game, and there's no digital sales included. So Nioh's number 9. Where's Halo Wars 2? That's the question. I looked at number 1, For Honor, number 2, Resident Evil, number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, NBA, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege. Whoa, Rainbow Six Siege is on there? Damn, that game is doing killer. We got Madden, Battlefield, Nioh, Overwatch. Where's Halo Wars 2 at? Okay, well, as you can see, I also have the Xbox One top 10 and the PlayStation 4 top 10. We can see Halo Wars 2 on just the Xbox One side is placed at number 6, while Nioh on the PlayStation side placed at number 4. And reading through some of the threads on GAF where the NPD members were talking about this, it seemed like Nioh sold 230,000 units in the U.S., not including digital, and Halo Wars, and I actually outsold Halo Wars 2, which didn't. Now, I think that is actually surprising, but maybe not for the reason you think. Now, yeah, it's true. For the last couple months, all I've heard from people is that Nioh's niche. Nioh is a Japanese game. Nobody buys the Japanese games. It's niche. It's not going to sell. It's not going to do this, and it's not going to do that. And yet, here we go with Halo Wars 2. Now, granted, Halo Wars 2 is an RTS. And RTSs are extremely niche on console. So, but yet, people propped up Halo Wars 2. And it sold less than Nioh. Of course... Well, let's just get everything out of the way first. Nioh came out like March 7th or February 7th. Halo Wars 2 came out the 21st. So Nioh has 2 more weeks on the charts than Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2 only really had a week on there because I think it ended on the 27th, right before Horizon Zero Dawn came out. So, yeah, and obviously Halo Wars 2 has Xbox Play Anywhere, which might give a rise to a bigger digital share than Nioh, but they're both not counting digital. So if you're going to say that about Halo Wars 2, you got to say about Nioh, because I'm assuming a lot of people also bought Nioh digitally as well, and those sales aren't included, so we don't know. The thing is, Nioh's niche, as I've heard countless times on countless podcasts, yet Halo Wars 2 is not, well, it is kind of surprising, honestly, because the sales discrepancy in North America, and NPD, this is just North America with some Canada thrown in, I believe, as well. Maybe even Mexico. I believe it covers all of North America. The discrepancy between PS4 and Xbox One isn't as pronounced as it is in the rest of the world. I think Xbox One is only behind 1.4 million. So it's not that much. I mean, when considering last gen, the 360 was like 20 million ahead of PS4 in North America. PlayStation only has like a 1.5 million lead. It's not a lot. That's why a lot of these games, sometimes they do better on PlayStation because of that, but it's not like blown out of proportion. It's not like PlayStation has a 10 million unit lead on Xbox in North America. But still, Nioh outsold Halo Wars 2. And that's kind of surprising to me, because I thought, and this is where I'm going with the vid, I thought the Halo IP meant a lot more. And I think this is kind of proof that Halo doesn't mean what it used to mean anymore. They slapped Halo Wars on, like, they originally, back in 2008, I think it was, or 2009, when Halo Wars came out, it ranked at number 3 in NPD. It sold 700,000 copies its opening month. It went on to be the best-selling RTS on consoles ever. That was back when Halo, if you put Halo on socks, on sodas, on posters, people bought it because Halo was monstrous. Monstrous. It was everywhere. When Halo 3 came out, at the height of Halo's popularity in 2007, that thing sold to 60% of the Xbox 360 user base. Kind of like how Nintendo and Zelda sold to 90% or whatever it is. There was a time where Halo, just Halo by itself, outsold multi-platform games. It was one of the biggest IPs in video games. But maybe not anymore. Halo 5 is down from the other Halos. Although they do say that the retention rate is really good and the best that, since Halo 2. So maybe they're climbing back up. But I see this not so much as Nioh doing good, which it did. I see this as the watering down of the Halo brand. Because you would think slapping Halo on something would make it sell. But here we are, Halo Wars 2 didn't sell. Maybe nobody wanted Halo Wars 2. Maybe, even though it sold extremely well on the 360, maybe nobody really wanted a sequel to Halo Wars. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a lot of people bought it. Maybe nobody really wanted it. Maybe nobody really cared. But, the talk is that some of that stuff is going to lead over to Halo 6. But if nobody really plays Halo Wars 2, they're not going to know what the hell's going on if some of that stuff transfers to Halo 6 because they didn't play Halo Wars 2. So, to me, this isn't Nioh overperformed or whatever. I think this is just more that Halo as an IP has been mismanaged, maybe. Not as big as it once used to be. I don't know. It's interesting, and I don't know where to to go with that other than to say I know for a fact that Halo is just not the juggernaut that it used to be. And now we have a Japanese niche action Dark Souls-esque game outsell it on NPD. And, I'm sure there are people out there they'll be out there damage controlling it. But nobody expected this. And if they said that they expected this, they're probably lying. A couple other interesting notes about NPD was For Honor was number 1 as the best-selling game, not only in February, but also of this entire year so far, this other 2 months. And it did it in 12 days. But also that it has a 56% share digital. So what that means is that more people bought For Honor digitally in North America than bought it physically. That is huge news, and I kind of wanted to mention that because I find that extremely interesting that we're almost at that point where maybe digital's taking over. And also another point, For Honor actually sold way more on Xbox 2 than it did on PlayStation. And I don't know, people will probably come up with a myriad of reasons for that. I've already seen people talk about that on Twitter and NeoGAF. It's well, of course it did because there's no games to play on Xbox. So PlayStation people had other games to play. I don't really buy that. I think For Honor appeals to exactly what the Xbox audience is. I think that game struck right to the core. Usually, if you can make a game that strikes right to the core of the Xbox gamer, the game does well. And I think For Honor did that. And that's why, according to all this stuff is it sold way better. And they stressed way better on Xbox than it did on PlayStation. Of course, it did well on both. It is the number one selling game of the year. So congrats to Ubisoft. Seems like they got a huge IP on their hands, a huge new IP, just like I hear Ghost Recon Wildlands is doing extremely well. It's going to be a tough battle for March next month. It's going to be interesting because you're going to have Horizon Zero Dawn, you're going to have Zelda, you're going to have Ghost Recon, and you're going to have Mass Effect. That's 4 huge games. 4 huge games next month. Which one's going to be number 1? Which one's going to be number 2? Which one's going to be number 3 and 4? It's very, very interesting. But yeah, guys, what do you think about Nioh outselling Halo Wars 2? Do you agree with me that maybe this is because the Halo Wars IP just is not what it used to be? Or do you disagree? Let me know what you think about all this cool information in the comments. I love to read everybody's stuff. As long as it's really, a good comment. I can't stand some of the shitty ones. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. And consider subscribing for more daily content, as I do try to put out a video every single day, if not multiple videos. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good rest of the day, a good start to the weekend, and I'll see everybody later.